project that is paying for it. So we, after the request for proposal process, we accept all of the projects that are that have interest in doing it, submit the proposal, and benefit the community somehow. So we work with them in doing fundraising and getting the skills and working on their designs and all these different things. So the neighborhood itself, for an intersection repair, for instance, is going to raise money, but we also have, in Portland, I'm not sure how it's going to play out exactly here, but in Portland, there's a paint company that has given us paint at half price for all of the intersection repairs, and City Repair has been able to pay for a portion of the paint and also got donations for a lot of the materials. Clay, sand, and straw is really cheap, so that goes a long ways. And then with the network that grows through the process of developing the project, a lot of resources come to the surface, so a lot of materials sort of just come from the population. And I've got a big pile of bricks in my backyard. Here, use it for that, patio and that sort of thing. Does that help?
Yes. What is the single number one thing the city council can do to help you?
Well,
This is almost quoted. As fast as
Well, this kind of answers some of the other questions at the same time, because to be clear, this is an annual event and an annual cycle that we're initiating this first time. So we're hoping that the follow-through is built into the way that we set ourselves up, and how we take root right now and really establish ourselves as an organization, I think is really important to the people not getting burnt out and there being good follow-through. And so in terms of how you guys can help us, I am not, it's obvious, the money part, but not just grants, but also fiscal sponsorship, looking at helping us perhaps find that with the community center. But then there's also the arm of the permits and planning department. And so I guess I would put it back to you. Do you guys make task forces? Do you do it on by committee? Do you do how would it be that you could take this up with your limited time and resources, but also very effectively work with us to ensure that it's a strong partnership that's viable for many, many years to come?
Next question. I wrote this one in. When is the Portland Convergence?
May, end of May.
And end of May. You want to go to trip, Kenyon?
End of May.
Yeah. So, when, I already asked that. Is this a volunteer group of people? Are you a nonprofit? Are there paid employees?
Currently, it is all volunteer, and we want to establish enough stipend pay or something along that line to create people that are going to stay and be part of this project for years, so that we can be able to pay certain people for certain jobs and allow a lot of it to be volunteer. We're working on our budget concepts.
So with the fiscal sponsorship, we're looking for a 501c3 partner, and actually reviving the Rights Project is one of the options, but we think that there may be another one.
I think the people over at Cheetahs know a lot about fiscal sponsorship. You might want to ask them. Do you work with wood and steel, or only column?
Yes, we work with wood and steel. We work with lots of different materials, and a lot of the times, one interesting thing that we do is we'll often do timber frame structures or large wooden structures, and then do cob infill or straw infill, so that's more of a superficial layer, and the bones of the structure are wood and steel and concrete. But we try and limit those to the amount that's necessary for the structure.
All right, and then does this have to be on public property, or can it also be on private property?
I think many different options for that. Private property is going to probably be more common than public property, but we want to see it happening in both places. In Portland, it happens in the public right-of-way, which is public property managed by the city, and then a lot of them, people will give a little section of their yard to be a little poetry plaza or a exchange booth or something like that. And I think this might be a later question, but we work with communities, like a co-housing community, we would consider to be a large enough community that it is benefiting that community and would agree to a project on that scale in general, as would a church or a school, or a large enough organization that has an idea for a project that would benefit their community. We see that as appropriate.
Those are all the questions that I have. I just want to say that I wish that you,
Robert,
yeah.
what about the consensus decision-making question I asked?
What do you guys have a decision-making process? Sorry, I missed that. You guys are still forming, but what is your intention around that?
We are currently, all of our decisions are unanimous, but
Is that possible?
we don't have a formal decision-making process in place, and partly what we're,
I'm not sure we can help you.
What we're using for right now is an 80% majority in this interim period, and we're not going to move into a consensus decision-making without everyone being trained on consensus to do it properly.
Well, those are all the questions we have that I heard. I just want to say I wish that all of you would come to council meetings every time. It's really been a very enjoyable evening. Thank you all for coming. We are going to take a short break and then bring the meeting back together at 5 minutes till 8 o'clock. Thank you.